Checking. Can you
Hey,
hear
Jeremy.
me okay, Mark?
Jeremy, you got me?
Yep. Can you hear us okay?
Loud and clear.
All righty. I got Coach here for you. We'll follow up with Sam Howell, Javante, Chaz Surratt, and Trey Morrison if time allows. You're up, Coach.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, how are you, Mark?
Doing well, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Number one, I'm really happy for our team. We lost this game at Virginia Tech last year. We lost this game at Pittsburgh last year, and the guys found a way to win it tonight, and that's progress. We were concerned about the 3 weeks off and having a sloppy game, and that's really what happened. We had entirely too many penalties on offense that just kill drives. We had an awful kicking game mistake, and then defensively we gave up too many passing yards. On the good side, we did enough to win the game. When it came down to the end, Trey Morrison stepped up and made the play he had to. I thought when we kicked the field goal, it would be a 2-score game, and we were in good shape there. But when we pulled that to the left, it gave them an opportunity. Give them credit. The quarterback played really, really well. The tight end's one of the best players I've ever seen. And Little Four's a really good player, and they've got some good backs in the offensive line. Four out of their 5 returning starters made some kind of award from last year. So Boston College got a good team. Their defense played well. So it was what we thought it would be. It was a very physical game on the road that came down to the end, and thank goodness our guys made the plays they need to win at the end of the game. Usually when you outrush the opponent, especially on the road, but mostly anytime you win the game, is 176-40. So what we've got to do is improve what we're doing against the pass. They did a good job protecting after early, but even when we got to him at 6'5", 230, he's so hard to tackle that he made play again, or he got the ball out of his hands. So quarterback's a really good player. He's changed this team completely, and they've got good players around him. So credit to them. They were 2-0 coming into this thing. We're excited to be 2-0 and headed back to Chapel Hill.
Okay, thanks, Coach. For the group, we will use the raise your hand function. Please say your name and your media affiliation and go answer your question. First up will be JB Ricks. So JB, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, JB Ricks here from Spectrum News 1. Congratulations on the win. I have a simple question of just how long did it take for your team to adjust to the fact that you guys had been out of action for 3 weeks?
Oh, I'm still not sure we have, JB. Maybe the last play of the game. But I thought we scored too easily at first, kind of like we did against Syracuse. And it was so easy that but things were still going well. Until we had the bad mistake in the kicking game and gave them the ball at the 6-yard line, and after we got hit from behind, had the errant pass. So when that happened and gave them a quick, easy touchdown, I thought they gained confidence, and the whole momentum of the game changed. And then it was a real fight after that. They weren't moving the ball. We weren't giving up touchdowns. We were in good position to put it away, and then we just kept going and until Sam got hit from behind and threw the pass that they intercepted that we'll learn to bat down. That gave them a short field and changed the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, JB. And the same thing kind of happened the second half. We come out and drive right down the field and then kick a field goal, and we started kicking field goals instead of getting touchdowns, and that's not who we are. So we've got to do a better job in those areas.
All right, let's go over to Andrew Jones. Andrew, go ahead.
Andrew, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
All right, Andrew, we'll try to get back to you. CL Brown, go ahead.
Yes, Coach, I was just curious with the penalties. Is that part of what you were talking about going into the season opener, you were expecting it to be kind of this kind of game. I mean, with the 3 weeks, is that basically a manifestation of quote unquote rust?
Yeah, I think we had 9 penalties against Syracuse, which is entirely too many, and then we had 10 tonight. So it's kind of like we repeated the same mistakes that we made in the opener, CL. And the other thing, I looked up at one point in the second quarter, I think, and we had 1 5-yard penalty and they had 1 5-yard penalty, and then we both went crazy, and they ended up with 12 in their third game, and we ended up with 10. So it was too many penalties in this game to have a bunch of smart kids and good coaches out there coaching them. So we've got to clean that up for next week.
And Trey Morrison, his play, obviously the 2-point conversion interception, and he had the big hit on Long earlier in the game that I kind of felt like made Long drop a second pass that they came back to him. Can you just elaborate on, him switching positions and being that kind of veteran presence and making the plays tonight?
Yes, CL, Trey's such a winner. He should have actually fallen down on that play, so they couldn't strip it from him, and then we take a knee and the game's over instead of having to have the onside kick. But I wasn't going to go out there and tackle him or ask him to stop, as he was headed back, and there wasn't anybody around him. So, and Trey's a real heady player. So he's that kind of player. He's a winner, and I really feel like the best thing this does for us tonight, it puts us in a position on the road against an undefeated team that was really physical, to match how physical they were, and at the same time be able to win late. So it should give us a lot of confidence. And we can coach them harder after you win and have a better chance to improve in a lot of areas next week.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, Greg Barnes, you're up.
Hey, Mack. Curious your thoughts on how Sam played. I know he made some big plays with his feet, especially in the first half, and struggled a little bit there in the second half.
Yeah, Greg, I was probably more impressed with Sam making plays with his feet than ever before. He did some of that in the bowl game, but he made some huge plays tonight with his feet, and that's really going to help us. They changed up coverage a lot. They did a good job, so we held the ball some, I thought. We didn't protect him well all the time. They brought an extra player some that you have to go hot, and we didn't get the ball out of our hands quick enough. And it's really, really hard to judge a quarterback right after the game until you see what routes the receivers ran, what about the protection. So we'll know a whole lot more about that on Monday after we study the video. We'll actually have the video on the plane as we're going home, so our coaches will grade the video tonight. I won't call you at midnight and tell you what we saw, but we can do that on Monday.
All right. And you mentioned the coverage, so I know you have to look at the film. The second game in a row, the opponent's done a good job taking away the deep ball. Is that a concern?
It's not a concern, but it's something that we have to adjust to, because right now we don't have enough patience. Our guys think we're going to blow everybody out, and we're not. We've got a lot of work to do. So they get frustrated, and they're totally impatient. And I've told our coaches the same thing. We've got to go back, and if people are going to go, they're going to back up to cover us. We've got really fast receivers. We've got to throw the ball to the receivers underneath, make them come up, and then get double moves to get deep. But we can't just run by them. We had 2 or 3. One today I thought we could have caught, another one that was thrown over his head. And so there's many things that we can do better than we did tonight. And the good thing is we played far from our best game and won.
Thanks, Mack.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, Pete Thamel, go ahead.
Thanks. Hey, Mack, up here in the press box in Boston. Curious, especially, you mentioned a lack of patience. Do you think that got into the play calling a little bit tonight, Mack? I mean, you're on the 30, 1st and 10, you pass the ball twice, and then you get 2 penalties, you backed up, and you kind of have to squeeze your way back in the long field goal range. And I thought you guys really did a great job running the ball when you did tonight. Again, you've got to sit back and digest the game. But did you feel like maybe you weren't quite patient enough in your play calling tonight, and that might have undercut some of your progress?
Pete, when you, again, you can't make that analogy from my standpoint right after the game until I go back over it and look at it. And if we'd hit one of those passes like we did last year, and I go tell Coach Long go, why the heck did you throw it? And he said, well, it was a touchdown. Then we wouldn't have questioned it. But when you're throwing it and you're not completing them and you're running the ball well, sure, it's something you have to look at each week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last one for Coach from Chapel Fowler. Chapel, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, based on my very poor, 2-second research, that pick 2 by Trey was the first in school history. Just from a historical perspective in your career, have you ever seen anything like that?
I saw it once against Texas A&M when we were at Texas. We intercepted a ball, Lee Jackson, on a 2-point play and ran it back for 2 points. And that was the first time I think I'd ever even seen that rule called during a ball game. So I think that's the second time I've ever seen that. I like both of them. I thought they were really, really good. So, and in closing, Mark, if that's the last one, let me say this. We have made a tremendous amount of progress when we won 2 games 2 years ago. We won 7 games last year, and we can go home a little disappointed in some things that we need to improve. So, man, we are in a better place than we have been. So I like having things we need to fix and winning. And one of the things I said when I came back, I was always disappointed at Texas if we didn't play well and we won. And I said, I am not going to be that way at Carolina. I'm going to enjoy this one. I'm going to appreciate winning. And then we'll start being hard on those kids tomorrow for next week so we can get ready for a really good Virginia Tech team. But I'm proud of the kids. I'm proud of the coaches. I'm proud of the way they fought. This is about winning. It's not about anything else. It's about winning. And our objective was to be 2-0 coming on this trip. We are 2-0. I knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. We had chances that we could have pulled away. Give them credit. We didn't. They've got good players too. So that's why we play these games. The ones that it's not the best teams. It's the team that plays the best that day. And today we were one play better than they were.
Great, Coach. Thanks so much for your time. Safe travels back.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Trey Morrison. Okay.
Hi, Trey.
Hey.
All right, man. We will begin with Gregory Hall. Gregory, go ahead.
Trey, congrats on the win. How would you evaluate your play, first career start at safety today?
I mean, I feel like I did pretty good. I had a couple of mistakes out there, but I just really went out there and just tried to play my hardest on every single play.
It looked like you were trying to hit harder than maybe you were before. Was that a goal you had today, especially with some of their bigger guys?
I mean, I try to hit hard every single game. I mean, there's no big difference in any team that we play. I just go out there and try to give it all.
Thank you.
Okay, Luke Buxton, go ahead.
What's up, Trey? Would love to hear your thoughts of walking me through the pick on the 2-point conversion, kind of what you saw pre-snap and then kind of as the play evolved and QB scrambled.
So first I was reading to the field side. I didn't see anything come that way. I seen the quarterback go to the boundary. I seen the running back flare out, and then I just seen the ball in the air, and I went to go get it.
When you caught it, did you know it was going to be, I guess, not 6, but in this case 2?
I don't know. I just caught the ball, just ran it all the way back.
Nice. Thanks.
Okay, CL Brown, go ahead.
Trey, I was wondering on the hit you put on Hunter Long, the tight end, where he was down for a little bit. Do you think that made him, the second time he had a similar pattern and he dropped a potential touchdown pass, do you feel like that hit kind of set up that drop because you were kind of lurking on that second play he dropped too?
Yeah, I do feel like that hit kind of did that. Every time he was running across the middle, he was looking more.
And what do you think about the amount of pressure you guys were able to get? You weren't always able to get Jerkovic down, but it seemed like the defensive line did a good job without too many blitzes being able to get pressure back there.
Yeah, our defensive line is incredible. Without them, us on the back end wouldn't have it so easy to make plays out there. So our D-line just does a job. Coach Bateman just calls great plays, and they just execute.
Thanks.
Okay, last one for Trey from Dina King. Go ahead, Dina.
Hey, Trey, congrats on the win. Just want your thoughts on your performance. With your versatility, you played a little bit of everything today. You covered Hunter Long. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, say the question again.
I just want your thoughts on your versatility, being able to play about everywhere on the defensive secondary and matching up with Long.
I mean, matching up with him was a hard job. He's a big guy. He's a great player. So I was just going out there, just playing my game, just giving it all I have.
All right, Trey, that's all we got for you. Congratulations, and have a safe trip back to Chapel Hill.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks. Hey, Sam, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
All right, first question from Greg Barnes. So, Greg, go ahead and lead us off with Sam Howell.
Hey, Sam, the offense was clicking along there early, scoring touchdowns on your first 2 drives. What did BC do after that to kind of stymie you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more not about them, about us. You know, I think we got sloppy at times. We had way too many penalties. You know, we would get down the field and then get backed up 10, 15, 20 yards at times. So we just got to clean it up. Way too many penalties. You know, we were moving the ball fine all night. We just got to clean up the penalties.
And you had a number of plays in the first half. I think 3, if I remember correctly, third down scrambles where you were able to pick up the first down. How has your mindset changed with that from last year? I know you really didn't have the ability to run last year due to the quarterback depth situation. How has your mindset changed this year with that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely when I see space, I want to take advantage of that. You know, I feel like a lot of teams don't really count for me as a runner. So there's a lot of space out there. So definitely when I see space, I just try to take advantage of it. You know, happened a couple of times tonight. So whenever I can take advantage of the space they give me, I try to.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, let's try Andrew Jones. Go ahead, Andrew. Can't hear you, bud. Sorry, man. We'll go to CL Brown. Go ahead, CL.
Sam, I was just curious your take on the penalties. How much of that was, the layoff of being out 3 weeks and then coming back to play?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was the reason for it. There's no excuse for the penalties we had. We just got to clean it up. Yeah, we had some time off, but that doesn't mean I don't think that's why we had penalties. I just think we got to lock in and play smarter football and just clean things up.
And I was curious too, what you felt like BC was doing to kind of take Newsome out of being able to really get into the game, get into a flow.
Yeah, I mean, we had our game plan. Daz was definitely in the game plan. But, just the flow of the game. We weren't able to get him many touches. He was still getting open on routes. There was a couple times in the first half where we had some pressure and Daz was open. So that's definitely something we need to do a little bit more. We need to get Daz Newsome the football because he's an excellent player and he hasn't had very many touches this year. So we definitely got to make sure we get Daz the football.
All right, Gregory Hall, go ahead.
Hey, Sam, only 5 points in the second half for you guys, but your defense held BC to only 6. How does that affect your play, and what kind of confidence does that instill in you moving forward?
Yeah, at the end at halftime, Chaz came up to me and told me that they weren't going to score again. And for almost the whole second half, they didn't score. So I had tremendous confidence in those guys. They played hard the whole game, and they played really, really two really good games of football. So I'm definitely blessed to have those guys on the other side of the ball. And I know when we're struggling a little bit, they're gonna get the ball right back to us. So definitely good to have those guys.
And then Michael Carter had a big day, 120 yards. It's not every day he gets over 100, but he always is capable of that. How was he able to be so successful today?
Yeah, Mike's a great player. He can do things both in the running game and the passing game. And whenever you give him a little bit of space, he can take advantage of it and more after that. So every time he takes advantage of the ball, every time he gets the ball in his hands, and that showed tonight.
On those 2 unnecessary roughness penalties that BC had when they were kind of throwing him around, did his demeanor change at all during any of that?
No, Mike's going to stay Mike at all times. There's not many things you can do to Mike to shake him up. He always has a smile on his face. He always has just good body language, and he's just a great person, great teammate. So there's nothing they can really do. He's just happy we got the yards. But yeah, those stuff were kind of cheap shots on him. But he stayed level ahead and moved on to the next play.
All right, thank you.
All right, Sam, that's all we got for you. Thank you.
Mark, next up we got Javante.
Hello, Javante. Thanks for joining us. If there's anyone that wants to get a question in, we are open for questions. And CL Brown, you will lead us off with Javante Williams.
Hey, Javante, I was just curious what your take was on the penalties that kind of killed drives. As Coach Brown said, you guys didn't have any in the first quarter. I believe there was only one early second quarter, but ended up with 10. What was your take on kind of why some of that was happening?
Main thing I just think it was a lack of focus. Just coming out of halftime and at the beginning of the game, I feel like our focus was off a little bit, but overall I think we did pretty good and we paid off in there.
And on your 41-yard touchdown reception, can you just take me through that play, how you saw it develop, and when you caught it, if you thought you were going to be able to get to the end zone?
Yeah, on that concept, I was actually supposed to stay in and block. But once I seen Sam leave the pocket, I just when I seen him scramble, I just tried to get open, and he just made a great throw, and I caught it, and it was wide open.
Thanks.
All right, JB Ricks, go ahead.
Hey, Javante, congratulations on the win. I'm just curious to know how long did it take for you guys to get into a groove, and how much of an effect did the 3-week layoff have on your performance today?
I don't think it really had much of an impact. I feel like we came out and played hard. The 3 weeks wasn't nothing that really impacted us. I just feel like our focus was off a little bit, like coming out of the half. And usually at the halftime, that's when we really start scoring. But this time, it just didn't work. We just got to fix it and get ready for VT.
What's it going to take for you guys to fix, those mental mistakes that you guys are making and allow yourselves to get into a groove for like the full 60 minutes on the offensive side of the ball?
I feel like it's just the small things, like from a technique standpoint, things like that. Nothing major, just little things here and there that we can fix and just get better from it.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chapel Fowler, go ahead.
Hey, Javante, just curious on your thoughts on your backfield teammate Michael Carter's performance today.
Mike is a great player. He always comes out and gives his best. He had a great game today, and I'm just glad and happy to see him do good.
And one other thing, I noticed along with your touchdown catch, you had a wheel route where you drew a pass interference penalty. I know Longo has talked about getting the running backs more involved in the offense passing game. How's that been for you through 2 games? Is it something you're enjoying?
Yeah, I like catching the ball in the backfield. There's more space, like on the perimeter, instead of always running between the tackles.
All right, last one for Javante from Dina King. Dina, go ahead.
Hey, Javante, just wanting to know the importance of getting this win on the road and how much of a factor it helps in learning how to win games like this. Coach Brown mentioned the Virginia Tech game last year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Getting a win on the road is always tough, and we're just happy to be 2-0 right now. We know we got to keep going because last year we was 2-0 and we started slipping. So this time we just gonna try not to let it get to us and just keep going hard and playing hard.
Thank you.
All right, Javante, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Chaz coming in, Mark.
Okay. Hi, Chaz.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us. Anyone that wants to get a question in for Chaz, please use the raise hand function. And Luke Buxton, you're first up.
Got a question about false starts. You guys caused them to have a few false starts with no fans in the stadium. How does that exactly work? You've been on both sides of the ball. Is it the kind of shifts that you guys run in Bateman's thing, or is that just something that kind of naturally occurs?
Yeah, a lot of the time it's in like 30 and 1, 32 short yardage, where we do a stunt and try to get them off sides. And I think that's just something we've done. Usually Jeremiah calls it out and able to get our line to move, and the O line is sometimes a little jumpy when it's short yardage like that. So I think we got a couple of those calls today, which was nice to get them back into 3rd and 6 as opposed to 3rd and 1.
All right, Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Chaz, how would you kind of grade your defense's pass rush today?
I think we got to the quarterback a lot. The guy was a big quarterback, so he was able to make some plays and throw the ball away. We probably could have had like 7 or 8 sacks, but he was a big guy, tough to bring down. But I mean, I'd have to watch the film. I couldn't right now. I couldn't say just coming off the field, but I thought we did get some good pass rush in spots during the game.
Is there anything in particular you can say about what worked, just coming from the perspective now?
I mean, yeah, I think just based on our film from last week, I think we're really good in the run game. They kind of abandoned the run coming into the game, and we didn't really expect that. So we just got to, be able to flip our focus and, play a lot of coverage. I think that's what we need to improve on, going into the season.
Cool. Thanks, Chaz.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Yeah, Chaz, what kind of presence would you say that Trey Morrison has in the huddle, especially now that Miles is not in there and Trey is kind of the most veteran guy in the secondary?
Yeah, I mean, Trey's big for us. I mean, he's played corner, he's played nickel, and now he's at free safety. So he knows all the spots and able to help the young guys in there.
and be able to tell them what to do, make all the calls. So I mean, he's going to be a big part of our defense this year, and he made a really big play at the end of the game. So I'm really proud of him.
Can you put us in the huddle right before that 2-point conversion play? Like what was kind of what did you guys think they were going to throw at you, and what was the feeling like for the defense?
We were really targeting 80. That was their best player by far. So we were expecting some kind of flat corner to the boundary with the quarterback rolling out. It was 3-by-1, and then they motioned to 2-by-2. So that kind of changed our defense a little bit because originally I had the back, but that kind of changes our coverage, and we played kind of like true thirds to that formation, and we were able to sit on it. I think Gemmell somebody got some pressure, and then I came, and then Trey made a big play.
Thanks.
All right, JB Ricks, go ahead.
Hey, Chaz, congrats on the win. I'm just asking everybody across the board how much of an effect the 3-week layoff had on you guys. How long did it take for you to kind of get into a groove? The excitement just being back on the field, and were you guys approaching this as if this was a second beginning to your season?
Yeah, for sure. With the 3-week layoff, we kind of rebooted ourselves. We came out like this was a season opener. We haven't played in 3 weeks. I think we came out strong. I mean, we came out and it was 14-3, and then we kind of got in a lull. I think just sometimes we think we're just going to blow people out. So, I mean, even when we're winning, guys got their heads down like we're losing the game, but we're still winning. But I think we just expect so much out of ourselves that kind of gets to us sometimes. I think we got to do a better job of that going into the season.
Thank you.
Chaz, you guys kept Syracuse to 1.9 rushing yards per carry, 2.1 today for Boston College. How have you guys been so successful stopping the run, even if they're not running it down your throats over and over and over?
Yeah, I just think the guys we got up front set the tone, and then me and Gemmell really locked in on our reads and stuff. So I think it just starts with the front seven. Coach Bateman does a lot of good calls. He pretty much knows what runs are coming and which formations, so we're able to scheme it up and get pressure where we think they're going to run the ball too. So I think that just a combination of that is why I think we have a good run defense.
Mark, you're muted if you're talking to us.
I am muted. Sorry about that. Chaz, we're all set for it. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, gang. That's our 4 and coach. Anything y'all need?
Yeah, Jeremy, do you know if you got a ruling on Michael Carter's kickoff situation?
I have not. I got asked that, and I have not. If I can get one, I'll try to email the group or text it out.
Okay.
If I can get some kind of clarification on that.
Okay, thank you.
May want to check with the ACC too. I haven't had one of these deals with the calls, so I don't know if they provide some kind of clarification or not out of their officials group.
Okay.
But if I can get one, I'll try to let you all know. Seems to be the question of the evening outside of other stuff. So, all righty. We appreciate y'all.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.